Okay, the first thing I want to do is I want to go over just a couple of these from Friday's work, from the worksheet, just to make sure that we understand what we've got going on. I'm going to pick just a few of these. So let's look at number 2, okay? So on number 2, to find the perimeter, you want to add up the outside sides. Do you include this 8 yards in the perimeter? No, because it's a dotted line inside the shape. Do not include this in the perimeter. What we want to do is we want to add up the 4 outside sides. If this one's 10 yards, so is this one. If this one's 19 down here, so is the top. So we're going to just, for our perimeter, we're going to add up 10 plus 10 plus 19 plus 19, and that should give us 58. So my perimeter is 58. Is that what you got? Make a correction then. Adam, is that what you got? Okay. Now for your area, this is a parallelogram, not a triangle. So for your area, you're going to use the base times height formula. Your base is going to be 19 yards. Your height is going to be 8 yards. So you're going to do 19 times 8. Type that in the calculator, 19 times 8, and that should give you 152 yards squared. I'm going to pick another 1 or 2 to do. Let's look at number 5. So on number 5, perimeter, we're going to add up 7, 7, and 3, right? We're not going to include the 6, because that's the height. 7 plus 7 plus 3 is 17. So 17 inches for my perimeter. Now, area, now we're using the triangle formula because we got a triangle. 1/2 base times height. So, what do you think the base of this triangle is going to be? 3, 1/2 times 3, and then the height? 6. So 1/2 times 3 times 6? 9 inches squared. Very good. Now, I wanted to do number 5 and then go back and look at number 4. Because number 4, some folks I've found out that they thought this one was hard. For number 4, I threw this one in here just to see what you guys would do. Perimeter, that's no problem. 8 plus 8 plus 11.3. That gives me 27.3 for my perimeter. Now for the area, the thing about this one is there's no bottom. When we do base of a triangle, 1/2 base times height. When we do the base of a triangle, we're looking for the bottom of the shape. Hopefully, because we haven't talked about this exactly, hopefully you used this as the base of your shape. But do you know what other side would also work for the base of your shape? The other 8-yard ones. So when you're looking at this triangle, and I need you guys to see this, I need you to act like you're interested in this. I can look at my triangle like this, and now doesn't this look like the base of my triangle? And then that would make this one my height. Or I could look at it like this, and this would be the base of my triangle. And then that would make this one my height. Does that make sense? So you can look at it however you want. You can look at it completely upside down. You can look at it sideways. Either way, one of these is your base, and the other one is your height. In this case, they're the same number, so it really does not matter. I'm going to plug in 8 for my base and 8 for my height. 1/2 times 8 times 8, and that should give me 32. So my area is 32 yards squared. Okay, on the back. Let's look at number 9. Okay, so this is a similar situation. On number 9, the way it's sitting, let me back up. Let me do perimeter first. If this is 13, then so is this side over here. And if this is 9, then so is this here. So for my perimeter, 13, 13, 9, and 9. That gives me 44 inches. And when it comes down to your area, we're doing base times height. Again, for this shape to have a base, you need to visualize it turned this way. Now this is my base, right? That's the bottom of my shape. And our height goes from top to bottom. So this would be my height. This is my base, there's my height. So, for my formula, 13 is my base, 7 is my height, 13 times 7 is 91. Okay, before this, I hadn't put any shapes that were turned sideways like that, so this is really the first time I did it, and if you got it wrong, it's really not a huge deal. We're going to talk about that, and we're going to look at it a little bit more today, okay? Alright. Okay, so now we're going to go over a few more examples where the shapes are going to be turned kind of sideways. This is what I was talking about at the end of last week. It's not always going to be the bottom of your shape. You might have to turn your shape. Okay, so these are some, I hole punch these so you can stick this in your notebook or whatever if you want to, but this is for you to keep. Okay, so for each one of these we're finding the perimeter and we're finding the area. Again, what does perimeter mean? For any shape, to find the perimeter, what do we need to do? Add up all the sides. Now, how many sides does a triangle have? 3, so you add up those 3 sides. For the perimeter of this one, 8 plus 3 plus 8.5. Eight plus 3 plus 8.5, that gives me 19.5. Now we want to find the area of this shape. What's the formula for area of a triangle? This is important. This is one of the 2 formulas I need you to memorize. One half, good. Base times height, very good. That's one of 2 formulas you need to memorize. So we need a base and we need a height. Now this is like the one that I was showing you guys on the worksheet. It doesn't have a clear base, but you can turn your triangle this way to have a base. You can turn it this way to have a base. But let me tell you why you cannot look at this one as your base. Say you want this to be your base. What's the problem with that one being my base? Okay, they haven't given us a height to go with it, okay? The height, if this were my base, looking at it the way it's looking just now, the height would go from here to here. Well, I don't know how long that is, and I can't measure it, because obviously this is not really 8.5 yards, so I can't measure that. So that's why this one will not work as my base. I can use this one as the base, or I can use this one. Let's say we make 3 our base. And that would make this side right here my what? My height. Because that is straight from top to bottom. Again, either one of these could work. So I'm going to go with 1/2 times 3 for my base times 8 for my height. And let's see what that gives us. 1/2 times 3 times 8. That gives me 12. I'm sure you've noticed we're not doing very many examples today, so y'all stick with me. Okay, for example 2, we want to find the perimeter. We need to add up all of our sides. What's the problem? Hopefully you are noticing a problem. Say that again. We're missing one of the sides. This is not a side of the triangle, right? A dotted line is just a length. We've got one side that's 13, one side that's 6, and we don't know this side. You know what that means? We can't find the perimeter right now. Okay, some of us would probably accidentally add these 3 numbers up, but that would be wrong. That is not the perimeter. Well, let's see if we can find the area. So there's my formula for area. We need a base and we need a height. So here's where the triangles are starting to be turned a little bit, but hopefully this one's pretty easy to see. Do y'all know which side we should use for our base? 6 inches. And the way that you know that is you use this dotted line. I told y'all last week, the dotted line is usually your height. Well, if this one's your height from top to bottom, then this must be the base, the bottom. So here's our base, and here's our height. That's all we need. We don't need this other side to find the area. So 1/2 times 6 for my base times 10 for my height. And that gives me 1/2 times 6 times 10, 30. So I need you to notice what we just did. We were able to find the area even though we couldn't find the perimeter. That happens sometimes. All right, let's look at example 3. Let's start with our perimeter. We got a triangle. What 3 sides are we going to add together? Kylie, help me out. Which 3 sides am I going to add together for my perimeter? Tell me the numbers. 10, 5, and 8. Thank you. 10 plus 5 plus 8, and that gives me 23 meters. Now this triangle, it's a trap. It's a setup for you to do it wrong. We need a base and we need a height. And the way that it's set up is we want to think that 5 is the base. But I need y'all to look closely. If 5 is the base, have they given me a height here? Wouldn't this be the top of my triangle? If this is the base? I need some answers. If this is the base, wouldn't this be the top? The height would be from here straight down, right? But they didn't give me that. So we're going to have to use something else. So don't fall into that trap. Which side do you think we should use for the base? All right, if 8 is my base, we would want this to be my top, right? And if this goes here straight down, I know it's kind of hard to tell, but that's not straight down, is it? So we have to use, the only other option would be 10 for my base. Okay, now, if this is my base, is this the height from top straight down? Yeah, so this one's going to be my height, and this one's going to be my base. All right, so back to my formula. 10 for my base, 1/2 times 10 times 3 for my height. 1/2 times 10 times 3, and that should give you 15 meters squared. All right, example 4. Let's do perimeter first. We need to add up all the sides. Now, what kind of shape is this? This is kind of a weird looking one, but can y'all tell what this is? Looks kind of like a diamond. When you look at it like this, it should look like a parallelogram. These lines are parallel here. Remember, our arrows mean parallel. And then these are parallel on the sides, right? So it is actually a parallelogram. And if that's the case, if this side is 6 and this side is 8, we can use those to find these 2 sides. How long is this side down here? 6. And this side over here would be 8. So we can find our perimeter. 6 plus 6 plus 8 plus 8. I got 28. Okay, and now I want to find the area. Now, this is the other formula I've asked you to memorize. What's the only other formula for area that we've done besides this one over here? Just base times height. I need a base and I need a height. And remember, your dotted line is usually your height. So this is probably my height here, right? My H. If that's my height, what number would have to be my base? 6. This would be the bottom, or this could be the bottom if I flipped it around. So I'm going to use 6 for my base times 3 for my height. 6 times 3, that's an easy one. That is 18 meters squared for my area. Okay, I want you guys to try example 5 and 6. And then after this, you're going to have to try more on your own, so I hope you are paying attention. All right, let's go ahead and go over these. I don't know if you had enough time, but I don't want y'all to run out of time. So, on example 5, we are looking at, is this a triangle? No, so we're not going to use our triangle formula. We are looking at a parallelogram. It's just turned funny. But I know that the top is going to be 7, and this side over here is going to be 20. So my perimeter is 20 plus 20 plus 7 plus 7, and that is 54. All right, easy, perimeter. Perimeter is easy. Now, for my area, the only two formulas are base times height or 1/2 base times height. This one is just base times height. What number is going to be my height? 5. Dotted line, that's my height. What number is going to be my base? And this is important. 20 or 7, which one's my base? It's got to be 20. Okay, it's got to be 20. 20 has got to be the one that I look at as my base, because your base is always going to have the height that goes from the top to the base. So 20 is my base, times 5 for my height, and 20 times 5 I think is 100 inches squared. Yeah? Okay. All right, now how about example 6? Let's do perimeter. Triangle, so 3 numbers. What 3 numbers am I going to add up? 6, 10, and 11, good. 6 plus 10 plus 11 is 27. All right. Now the area. 1/2 base times height. This one should be pretty easy. What's my height? 8.5, that's my dotted line. If this is my height, then that must mean my base is what? 6. Okay, so I'm going to do 1/2 times 6 times 8.5. 1/2 times 6 times 8.5, and that gave me 25.5. Okay, any questions about this? I really wasn't going to do another day of this, but then I thought, you know what, we need to do a mixed around like this. Tomorrow we're going to move on to something new. Everybody's good with this?